Hey guys, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because things are getting real and they're getting real fast. So here we go. This is a video I've avoided making and I wasn't gonna make, but I have some reasons, so we'll get into those in just a minute. I'm going to do a quick backstory, or you can watch the channel trailer, which I'll link down below and up in the iCard if you kind of want a rundown, like a more detailed rundown of what exactly has happened. A year ago, my husband was injured. He couldn't work. He was our only source of income. We went 5 months, I think, with no income or very, very little income. I was working like 4 part-time jobs at one point trying to make ends meet. And the only way we got through really was through the generosity of everyone, people who loved us. And it was the most stressful time period I've ever been through. We had 4 little kids, we had a mortgage, we had bills, we weren't getting any answers for why Greg was injured. It was just a nightmare. Like, I was literally felt like I was living my worst nightmare. It was terrible. That being said, during that time, we became really open about our finances, about our financial struggle, about our money situation, and for the most part, it was a beautiful thing. It was really great, but it also wasn't. There was that like 5% of people who were kind of terrible. And I think the final straw, like the final thing that made me be like, I'm not doing financial updates anymore, was we actually lost a really good friend because this person didn't agree with our like choices that we were making. They thought they knew everything and they didn't. And that's what's really hard. I'm not trying to like hold things back necessarily, but I also feel like it would take eons for me to give you every single detail and why we've made the choices we have. So that being said, like I said, I wasn't gonna do a financial update anymore, but it's really hard with nowadays. Like, social media influencers are usually really wealthy and really well off. And I found myself, you know, the YouTube people I follow, the Instagram people, Facebook, everyone, they post these glamorous things. You know, they're taking all their kids to Disneyland with matching shirts, and they're going on vacations, and they're, you know, whatever, redoing their homes and buying these big homes. And I was sitting there one day and I was like, this is like so depressing for me because I don't live that life, and that life is so foreign. Like, I cannot relate at all, especially where we sit or right now financially. And I realized I want to be that channel that you can come to and be like, oh, somebody else like has financial issues, like somebody else is living paycheck to paycheck, somebody else, you know, isn't financially stable. And I think that's a good thing to have. I'm not saying those other accounts are bad or like, oh, they shouldn't have money, but I think it is nice to also see the other side of things that aren't as glamorous. That is my inspiration, because I was feeling really lonely, really sad. Like, we were the only people out there who struggle financially, which is ridiculous. I actually had a friend reach out and tell me they were struggling financially, and it made me feel so much better. Even just one person being like, our finances are hard and it sucks, was like so comforting. So if I can be that to somebody else, I'm gonna do it. So here we go. I got a full-time job in June. I'm not saying what my job is because I've seen people lose their jobs because of things said on social media. I need my job. Greg is in school. He is doing his prerequisites for a program that hopefully he will enter in January. He'll get in January and he should be done before the end of 2020. So it's a pretty quick program, and then we're hoping he finds a job pretty fast. We talked a lot about what to do because I want to be a stay-at-home mom, and I was a stay-at-home mom before all this. But when we talked about what was best for our family and our situation right now, we kind of realized it makes more sense for Greg to watch the kids and focus solely on school rather than try and work and do school, especially because the program he's going into is pretty much full-time during the day, and it would be really hard for him to work a job around that. I know the other question I'm probably gonna get is, why doesn't Greg get a part-time job? And we've talked about that too, but I work a job that's rotating schedules and graves, afternoons, mornings, whatever, and every 6 weeks it changes. So for him to find a job that could work around my schedule, because it wouldn't be worth the daycare costs for him to work when I'm working, it wasn't worth it. It just makes sense to have a full-time stay-at-home parent because we have 4 kids, and putting 4 kids in daycare is freaking expensive. So it wouldn't even be worth Greg working. So that's kind of where we're at. Now, when I got my full-time job, I am so grateful. It was such an amazing, incredible blessing for me to get a full-time job. That being said, I don't make a ton of money at my job, especially not a ton of money when you realize I'm supporting 6 people on this teeny tiny paycheck. My sister said like the other day, she's like, I think the longer you're poor, the harder it is to be poor. And I think that's really true. Like Greg and I just feel so drained. Like we have been struggling financially for over a year now. Like we're always worried about, you know, what if something breaks, or right now we can like do like the bare minimum of things. So like if something breaks, we're screwed. So we kind of live in this like fear of like, what if something breaks? What if we have some kind of emergency? And that's really scary. I don't want to give exactly what I make, but I will be blunt and honest. For our family size, we live below the government poverty line. Like that's kind of how poor we are, is we are still living below the poverty line. That being said, I know we're gonna get judgment because Bentley and Olivia are both in after school classes that we've paid for. And I'm gonna be honest, we talked about not putting them in their after school activities that they're used to doing, but I don't want my kids to suffer. Their life has already been so changed by this situation. I mean, they went from living comfortably to seeing mom and dad stressed out all the time and dad being home all the time, and then now I'm working all the time and dad's home, and just the change it's been on our family, I can see it really weighing on the kids with their anxieties and things like that. And I saw that and I didn't want to take away like things that make them happy and things that give them a new experience. And it was important to us, and I feel like everyone has different things with finances that are important. You know, some people want the latest and greatest technology, and some people it's clothing, you know, some people it's investing, like whatever it is, like everyone has their important things they spend their money on. And for us, it's always gonna be my kids and my kids' happiness. And so if that means, you know, I have to sacrifice new clothing, which I need desperately, or if I have to sacrifice having a garbage disposal, you know, things like that, so my kids can do those activities, I'm gonna do it. Or, you know, I just think it's important, and I think it's important for us to have a little bit of normalcy in our life. We have been living this crazy alternate universe life for so long, and it's nice to feel a little bit of normalcy. We spend every dime, cent, nickel we spend, we talk about, we think about. We didn't buy 75-cent M&Ms at the store the other day because it was too expensive. Like, that is how much we think about what we spend our money on. So if you are struggling financially, if you live paycheck to paycheck, if you feel insecure in your finances, I hope you'll subscribe, and I hope you'll stick around, and I hope you'll realize you're not alone. And I hope you'll feel comfort in knowing you're not alone and love from us, because it's the hardest thing ever to be financially insecure, especially in a world where we're surrounded by people with a lot of wealth. Anyways, if you would like to subscribe and see more, I'm planning on doing a couple different financial videos, like how we save money, or like things we've cut, or I want to do our budget for a month. Stick around. We also do vlogs and we do fun videos too. They're not all like gloom and doom. And I also want to say this is not a video where I want people to send me money. I mean, I'm so grateful for the help we received, but we're doing okay for right now. It's just for people to know they're not alone. And it's also for people to know that even if things are financially hard, life can still be amazing and beautiful and fun and funny. And you can still make those sacrifices to do fun things, because we sacrifice and we scrimp and we save so we can do fun activities. Like we're going to the pumpkin patch, which will probably be our next video, and it is expensive as crap and it's a big sacrifice, but it's important for our family to have moments of normalcy and moments of fun together. So anyways, if you have any other questions, please leave them below. Thank you so much for watching, and again, you're not alone and we love you. Bye guys.